sure we get everything in that we want to. So last segment I asked Dawn a question about prayer, passion, and perseverance, and how those have helped her in discovering her purpose.
All right, so prayer is how it started, because I asked God, what would you have me do? Why am I here? And then from that question, I received the answer that it fueled my passion to get back into the game and not just sit on the sidelines and live out my passion, which is to serve and help people live their best life. And then perseverance is just every day doing those daily intentional actions to get me towards my goal and get me towards living out my purpose to the fullest each day.
Excellent. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, an acronym that I came up with. So as I was working on this, which, often happens to me, God will just give me words that are, powerful enough. And I want it, that are powerful or that align with what I want to discuss. Mm-hmm. That's how you know you're really connected and doing the right thing, is when God starts to just, things start to happen and you're in the bathroom and you're writing stuff on the napkin, So
downloads.
Right, so I get all these downloads of information. So purpose is an acronym. For that, I created an acronym for purpose, and the P in purpose stands for pursuing something greater than yourself. The U stands for urgently, taking immediate action, making sure that once you know what it is, you are in pursuit and you're doing it with some urgency. The R is about being resilient, because you are going to have to be resilient as you are pushing through that purpose.
Absolutely.
Because this is not, one of those situations where you're not going to have any challenges.
Right.
And so the O, and then the P is for being poised, being ready. Be like a lioness who, when she's hunting for food for her family, she's she's quiet, but yet moving with some urgency, really focused.
Right.
So you have to be poised as you're looking to figure out what your purpose is. Opposition. You will get opposition from the enemy. So you have God in your life and you're working on your purpose. The enemy doesn't want that to happen, right? Because it goes against everything that his purpose is.
Right.
It's the opposite of his goal. So opposition is something that you will face. The S in purpose is for service or serving others. It is not about you. Your purpose, let me just say that again. Your purpose is not about you. It's for you to serve others.
Yeah.
And then the E in purpose is for expectation. You are always expecting greatness. You're living in that space. So that is what purpose is to me. And
I like it.
Dawn gave a lot of different tips in terms of what it is that she wanted to share about purpose. And one of the things is I wanted to ask Dawn about why did you do, so you have Atmospheres of Wellness, and I want to give you an opportunity to share about that a little bit, and why Atmospheres of Wellness, and then why the toolkits.
Okay.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have a space to be, and I have a wellness toolkit, so I wanted to give her an opportunity to just share a little bit about those items and how they work.
Okay, so Atmospheres of Wellness, and God downloaded that name for me, because I didn't have that name in my own mind. And it was because I knew that the only thing that healed me from not only my physical ailments, but just my mental and my spiritual, was how I elevated my atmosphere, how I changed the environment around me, in my thoughts, in my physical environment, and in the people I had around me. So the toolkits were... Those came about because as I was going through these mental transformations and these spiritual transformations, I realized that I needed a daily reminder to hold my well-being as sacred. Because, just like with New Year's resolutions, we get started and we're all pumped and we're very energetic, but then a week, 2 weeks, a month later, you go back to your same old routines.
Right.
So I developed this reminder. I wanted it to be attractive and beautiful so that when women saw it, it triggered in their mind, okay, yes, I need to affirm myself. I need to take time to just sit quiet and listen to what God has to say. I need to take time to journal so I can get my thoughts down and get my prayers written down. And just hold that space in your day for you and God to connect, so that you can go out into the world with intention and purpose, and give your best to the world around you, like you're saying with S, with serving others. through your purpose and through your passion. So that is why I created these toolkits, because I really believe that every woman, especially now with how busy we are and how much is going on, and just the distractions with social media, we need to take time out before we go out into the world to fill ourselves up, to tell ourselves who we are, who God has said we are, and why we are here, and then engage with the world. Because I always tell people, the world is ready to tell you who you are. The world is ready to tell you who you are not.
True.
So you have to fill yourself up enough so that when the world comes at you with these things, you can deflect it and say, okay, that's your opinion, but I know who I am. And you can keep moving forward. So that was my intention behind creating these boxes, to just remind women every day, have it on their desk, have it in their bathroom, wherever they need it, to just remember you are loved, you are worthy of love, and you're here for a reason.
That's really key. So are there any, first of all, how can people reach you and get access to the toolkits if they would like to purchase them?
Right. So you can find me on my website, www.atmospheresofwellness.com. And then I'm also on social media, both Facebook and Instagram, at the same name, Atmospheres of Wellness. And you can go into my store and you can purchase your toolkit. And in addition to the toolkits, like you mentioned, Space to Be, that is another service that I provide. I truly desire that every woman has their own set-aside space in their home, in their office, where they can go and connect with God and, develop their purpose and just dream and just be quiet and just be themselves. They don't have to be mom. They don't have to be wife. They don't have to be any of those things. They're just God's child sitting and listening and getting what they need. So I also offer where I design and create wellness spaces for women in their homes, in their offices, and you can find out more about that on my website also, atmospheresofwellness.com.
And I have to say that I have used both of these, and Dawn actually traveled to Alabama to help one of my friends develop her space, and she did it for me in my home. She created a space for me, and I also have the wellness toolkit. And if you have a young teenager or a young woman in your life, she also makes those for younger girls as well, because it's better for them to start earlier and start getting those messages now rather than later. So Dawn, before we kind of start to wrap up, are there any final thoughts that you would want to say to someone who may be saying, okay, that's all good what you just said, guys, I really thank you so much for that, but that's not really helping me in my current situation.
Right.
What advice or would you give to someone who may be feeling that way this morning?
One thing that I realized was that before I understood who I was and why I was here, I didn't believe the life that I would dream about was possible for me. I would just, deflect it that, okay, that's good for them. Maybe that'll work out for them. But for me, I didn't believe it was possible because I didn't have any hope for myself. I didn't think that there was something better for me because I would not allow myself to let go of the thoughts of other people over my life. And it wasn't strangers or just people on social media. It was the people that were closest to me that had a very different opinion or perspective about me and what I was capable of doing and what I was here to do, that I had to really release and let go and allow myself to be filled with who God said I was. Now, we all have something to do. If you're here and you're alive right now, you still have an assignment and it's not finished. So it is part of your journey and your purpose to take the time each day. Do 5 minutes a day. And this is the question I ask myself. And I look into the mirror and I ask myself this question: what are you here to do? And then I ask God, what would you have me to do today? Because each day, it can be a smile that you give to a stranger walking along the street that you don't know that can ignite something in them. And that was your purpose for that day. So if you're listening to this right now and you think this is all a bunch of fluffy, positive words, it's really not. The words that you speak about yourself and the thoughts that you believe about yourself will create the life that you're living. So if you're living a life that you are not happy with, that you just have this ache within you that's telling you there's more than just what I'm living right now, there's a reason why you're feeling that, and it's your responsibility to take action to find out what that is. Start asking questions. Start asking God, why am I here? What will you have me do? Lead me to the people who will elevate me to the life that I know is possible for me. Right now, it may just feel like a dream. It may just feel like, oh, I'm just daydreaming. This isn't real. But the fact that you're seeing that in your mind and you're feeling it is not by accident. God is nudging you that there's something more for you. And only you can bring it out. He won't force you to live that best life, but you need to take action by looking for a coach, by taking an online course. This is something I want to share. You must invest in yourself. Wow. If you continue to look for things that are just free and that are handouts, they are not going to change your life. You must invest. You must take that action by faith. Give up your money. Give up your time to invest in living and determining and experiencing your best life, because that's how it started for me. It was a $97 investment in a course, and it changed the rest of my life. $97 changed the rest of my life.
And I think that is very important. Thank you so much for saying that, Dawn. And I want to take the time to say thank you so much for coming in this morning
thank you for having me.
About how you found your purpose and what that looked like for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. You definitely need to, communicate with God. Decide and communicate with God, listen to what He has to say to you, and then you need to take action to achieve those goals and accomplish the things that you've been called to do. Because like Dawn said, you have to invest in yourself. I mean, $97, we spend that in a restaurant.
Oh my goodness. I tell people all the time, that is 2 weeks going to Starbucks. You know what I'm talking about. And all you've done is added more sugar into your system. You can invest in a course or in a coaching session that will just open your brain to so many possibilities for your life. So
yes, and that's wonderful to hear. So I'm going to say that right now we're just I want to thank Dawn once again for coming in this morning and speaking to us about purpose and how it works in her life. And as I've shared before, and I'll continue to say, my goal and focus is to inspire and empower and bring on guests on my show that will be able to do that for you. And as a woman, as moms, as husbands, fathers, we're all out there doing a lot of different things, but we all have a role to play. We are more than just moms and dads.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of other things that we're called to do in this world. So I want to just take this time to remind you that this is Sharice Irons, your CEO and founder of Irons Group LLC. And at Irons Group LLC, we inspire, empower individuals, organizations, and the youth to discover who they are authentically. And so I'm going to just say, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. I hope everybody has a wonderful week as you discover your purpose. You go ahead and reach out to me at Miss Iron Sharpens on Instagram, or you can go to my website at www.ironsgroupllc.com. Have a wonderful Sunday and a blessed week, everybody. Keep pursuing your dreams. Love ya. Have a great week. Hey, Queen. Good morning, girl. Thanks for watching.